think I need that cue, as a matter of fact. Yeah, this is what I'm used to looking at. Alright. You'll always be... Is that it, Brant? 4 news stories?
Yeah.
Very specific.
There we are. What? That SSR says clothing is required. Renee is here.
Watching this Apple thing.
Anything new? Anything big?
They're stuck on this MacBook Pro with the M3 chip.
So this is the unveiling of the M3 chip?
Yes. I literally spent the first 10 minutes of them talking about how you can do 120 gigabytes built-in videos graphics.
Ooh. Renee's here in the chat. Welcome, Renee. Cesar found an ancient piece of artwork while I was doing some cleaning.
Good job.
Brent, you may need to be added as some other people need to come out. It's just Brent. Is there any way we could put part of Michael on Russell's face to make Brent?
Gosh.
Why am I so skinny and angry? Cesar, this is not you. This is Charles' interpretation. You look like a cousin of Beavis and Butthead. It looks like that Mike Judge style, right? Like King of the Hill style. Mm-hmm. We all do, but you specifically, because you're facing forward. Oh, Russell looks like a conquistador. Oh, shit.
Still does.
Yes, he still does look like a conquistador. Oh, man, this is actually the original. I think I scanned. This is the one he actually drew it on, and then I scanned this master copy. Holy shit. Oh, why am I so angry? Do y'all really feel that way about me? Is this a true representation of how I act on the podcast?
I guess it depends. Depends on the topic.
It depends on if you've been promoted to a listener or not.
You won't be acting that way anymore, will you?
Depends on the time. No.
You've lost your mojo.
Yeah, my mojo's gone. Where's my mojo?
They've taken my mojo.
My mojo's gone. Dr. Evil. Alright, we found a way to sneak our Austin Powers reference into tonight's show. We already got 5 people in here. For the usual nonsense. Cesar, I'm owed a game of Blitz with you, sir. Needs to happen.
Okay.
Well, you'd have to fix your Blitz machine first, right?
I have working Blitz machines, and if that was a shot at the other thing, that is way too low. Way too low of a blow, Rant McKee.
No, I wasn't talking about the other thing.
Nothing wrong with my Blitz machine. What's wrong with your Blitz machine? Oh, yes. I wish I had a working actual arcade Blitz machine. However, that is only a 2-player one. It's, Blitz 99, I think? So it's 2 players instead of our preferred 4. But Cesar and I do like playing a lot of... 99, you have to play against each other, and I think we like playing more cooperatively against the computer, as the computer rubber bands back to destroy us somehow at the very end. Cesar's still the only human player I've seen kick a field goal in Blitz. The computer never misses. Cesar
I remember you got mad at me when I chose field
goal. I was like, no, what are you doing?
I kicked it in there, yeah.
Just when I thought you couldn't go and do anything stupider. You totally redeem yourself. It was great. Because it worked. Field goals are impossible in there. The meter's impossible. That was like, that had to be. I would love to hear. I'm sure there's a developer commentary somewhere on Blitz development where he's like, we had to ship They were coming to get the Gold Master from my house on Friday, and Thursday I decided to work on the kick meter and put it in the game
Yeah,
so it could
fuck
ship.
kicks the game.
Yeah. Just so it could ship, so I could have something that could be put on store shelves. That's all I was after. That's how I imagine it worked. All right, you gentlemen ready?
Yep.
Oh, I see Snake Eater in the background. We're going to have a Snake Eater story. News should be pretty light, right? We should be able to breeze through that pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
As all the Xbox deals come through.
I already muted my phone.
I need to, shit. I fucking need to. 278, is that right, Brant? Is that the right number?
Maybe.
Press X to doubt Brant.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 278 of the NOFODcast. We are outside, no outside. Outside or no outside?
If you're outside, you can have the food or drink. But if you're inside, there is no outside
Brant,
food or
thank you
drink.
for clarifying. We are no outside food or drink. Specifically, a Chick-fil-A establishment that we were in that you couldn't even eat inside, so I don't know. Inside food was not even allowed in this Chick-fil-A. Right? Cesar, am I misremembering that? It was like a walk-up Chick-fil-A. You couldn't even eat in there, right?
It was no indoors.
Yeah, there was...
It was literally just a drive-through everywhere.
Yeah, so even the Chick-fil-A food would have been outside food or drink.
Weird.
Yeah, this is a very key piece of information of the no outside food or drink lore. 278 times, and I stumbled over that for some reason. No outside food or drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, online disk drive? Question mark. More Sony layoffs. That's not good. I hate talking about layoffs. I'd rather talk about anything other than layoffs, and it seems to be more frequently than not. Xbox is blocking your accessories? Question mark. There are 2 question marks. Brant, what accessories have you had blocked? Does it include the Duke controller? Find out later. And we have your first in-engine look at Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta. We are, of course, an audio podcast. That description will probably not translate too well, but Brant McKee will paint you a perfect picture, as he is, of course, joining us tonight alongside myself, Richard Bergman. Brant is the newsmaster. He has built this scintillating lineup of video game stories for us to discuss for this week. Brant, welcome.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Yes, you've not been promoted.
Happy to
not
be
been
here.
promoted to listener quite yet. You got demoted from listener before. Also here, resident page master and lore master, Cesar Concepcion II.
Hello.
Cesar, how goes that Apple show? Has there been any games on that Apple show?
We spent the last 2 minutes talking about the brightness of screens using the nit measurement.
This sounds like an Apple show. Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? What's happening?
We're getting lost in the justification for this blink new hardware that may or may not have noticeable increases in performance versus what you were previously using.
I mean, the casing does come in space black, which does look sweet. But
Oh, there we go. Now I'm aboard. Space Black. We called it Space Black. I know what's up.
until we talk about how much it costs, and then we're all off.
Oh. This is the, what are they doing tonight? Is it IMAX and everything, or is it so far just like MacBook Pros, MacBook Airs?
They started the show with the M3, with the 3 different versions of the chipset that goes 32 gigs, 64 gigs, and 120 gigabytes.
The new
with
chipset.
graphics card built in.
Oh, shit. That's actually very impressive.
Then they have gone specifically to the MacBooks, and now they're on the MacBook Pros.
I almost wonder if they would end up...
Now you can log into Steam and play Baldur's Gate 3. We just literally talked about that.
Oh.
So.
I mean, that's a big game to trot out there, right? Maybe 6 months ago it's not, but now it for sure is.
Just like the South Park clip.
That was pretty good. That was awesome. I didn't know where that clip was going. I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good. They're like, why are you booting Steam? They're like, Steam? Yep, I just need to get in here to Baldur's Gate 3.
It looks sweet on this big monitor.
That was good. I haven't seen a good South Park clip in a long time.
Me neither. I came across that. It's actually pretty funny.
Boosh says dark mode only. Are we all dark mode aficionados?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I've been using dark mode.
Okay, there we go.
Was using Google Pixel when it was like number 4.
Yeah, I was just going to close out whoever was not using dark mode. The monster had to go. We had to vote out the monster. Do you think what I was getting with this? Do you think Apple, like their Mac Metal GPU type stuff, is just kind of it's an enthusiast level right now, right? It's not quite mass adoption. I mean, they'll be able to bring people aboard and APIs and developers and all that sort of stuff. But do you guys think it gets to a point where it's ubiquitous with an integrated GPU type thing? Like here, just because it's on the newest Mac and now it's scalable, like, I don't know what's a good example of that, but we've utilized that across the entire Mac platform for the past like 5 years. So you have a good gaming experience on just a solid baseline, like they did with phone software. Like it works. If you bought an iPhone in the past 5 years, you can be able to play blank. I don't know if gaming will get to that space or not. Is my thinking of that. That shit's getting more and more powerful. I guess it just depends on how people use it.
Yeah.
Mermaid24 says, well, I mean, we're not all monsters. If you use dark mode, mute, block, unfollow. What's the last one, Cesar, in that?
The trifecta?
Yes. Is it mute, block, unfollow?
Follow. The mute, unfollow, then block, yeah.
Then report?
Which doesn't make sense because if you do block, you can act all through. But that's why I use block as last. You make sure you know that they're getting ignored.
Report. I think report's important in there. If I can find my O key somewhere. Cesar, feel free to cut off news if there's any gaming related stuff from this Apple show. I do not have that on in the background. I wish I was at least watching part of it.
MacBook Pro now starts at $1,599 instead of $2,000.
That's a good deal. Brant, it's time to upgrade. You ready? Brant's like,
Yes.
nah, this one's fine.
Brand, you can order it today.
Oh.
It'll be available next week.
Oh.
M3 Max will be available in late November.
Damn.
Brant, Cesar and I have been like secretly siphoning off here and there, but if you want a new MacBook Pro, you may use the Patreon funds for a new MacBook Pro for next week. We've noticed your audio's a little bit off. Your video's starting to get kind of hazy there in the background. We'd like for you to go ahead and upgrade with the Patreon funds.
Now they're hitting
The missus is getting a new laptop for
Not with our Patreon funds, she's not. We did talk about this.
All right, Richard, it's on your all-in-ones right now.
All-in-one. Oh, the iMacs?
Mm-hmm.
Are they skipping the M2 as reported on that, going straight to the M3?
Yeah, it's the M3 show.
Yeah. No more M2 stuff. That's behind. When is the mobile chipset going to switch to the M stuff, the M architecture?
They didn't want to compete with the gaming company M2.
Yeah. Also, speaking of which, I saw an M2 Panasonic 3DO prototype donated to the Museum of Play today. I was asking Mike Micah about it on Twitter, but I didn't get a response yet. Remember the successor to the 3DO, the M2 64-bit CD-ROM? It had 1x CD-ROM speed. So some people got these development units, and it had that slow-ass CD-ROM in it. I couldn't believe that part. Boosh says, will some iMac thing work with his Galaxy? I'm guessing it's probably not going to, unless Galaxy is one of the colors of the new iMacs. Is it like Galaxy Gold?
You can use the Galaxy to kind of stabilize your iMac so you can get out of it. That's what's going to be there for, is always as a kickstand, so you never actually have to use the Galaxy again.
Remember those old jokes about the Dreamcast console stand? It was a PS2. It was like the console stand plays DVDs. It's black. Good trim. All right, our Apple versus Samsung people are picking fights in the chat, so we'll move along to actual news.
Oh God!
I don't know. I don't know why.
It doesn't
use
matter.
Use what you like. It's fine. We're just talking about it, architecture. Speaking of architecture, from VideoGamesChronicle.com and Jordan Midler, the new PS5's optional disk drive requires an internet connection to connect. That's madness. As spotted on the back of the box for the upcoming upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 PS5 Slim Bundle, small print confirms that players who purchase the new model with the optional drive will be required to connect to the internet when pairing it to a machine for the first time. It's likely that this is a security measure in order to ensure that the disk drive is a legitimate one and not a third party. However, it has raised some preservation concerns. Did they update this? Because I've seen an update to this story.
Looking.
It's at the bottom, maybe? The issue appears to stem from the way both Sony and Microsoft pair the console's disk drives with their motherboards. As explained in a 2020 article by Wired, which is linked in this article. Great job, Jordan Midler. Each disk drive has a daughter board that pairs with the console's motherboard, essentially creating a handshake unique to that specific pairing. So if you can, visualize with me.
This is, yeah, and this is not something unique to the new PS5. It's been going on for years, from what I understand. Back all the way to the PS3, certain models had the same kind of architecture.
Even the 360. I've read no, the original Xbox. I'm sorry. There's original Xbox disk drives that are not universally compatible.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll have Toshiba's, Hitachi's, Philips, Samsung's, and there's one more. If Thinking Inside the Box is in the chat, I know he's going to start yelling at me. You should know this. Hitachi, Philips. Damn it. They're going to be in the chat. You missed one. This is the one you need. In the article, Wired removed the disk drives from launch PS5 consoles, swapped them over, but the consoles would refuse to recognize the other drive despite them being identical hardware. This may be partly due to Section 1201 of the DMCA Act, which we violated many times, and I have since moved our certifications over to this wall, which are no longer visible in the camera. Which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which says it is illegal to circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to a copyrighted work, which in this case is the firmware on the disk drive. That is the official stance that I heard afterwards. So that is the update, I guess. That's what the clarification was. In order to prevent piracy and also perhaps third-party repairs, Sony and Microsoft use the pairing method to ensure that each console can only work with a specific disk drive assigned to it, meaning users can't modify or replace the drive. Hopefully, we've talked about in the show many times about the Rights to Repair Act and how that seems to be pushing forward and catching steam. We've mentioned many times when Cesar and I worked retail, if a PS2 or an Xbox or GameCube or something came in and that little sticker seal was broken on the back, you couldn't even accept it for trade because it had been opened and damaged or harmed in some way. Same thing with cell phone manufacturers. It's considered tampered or modified in some capacity. But there's legislation.
Void on the sticker.
What's that?
It says void on the stick. It says void on the stickers when you break
Void. Warranties void if broken. And there's still people in the original Xbox thread on Reddit that are like, should I take the stickers off? Like, really? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if your Xbox is broken? Are you going to call Microsoft and tell them you can't play Halo 2? It's not going to go well.
Oh, Richard is done. That's all it was.
I would love to see Microsoft. That's it? That's all the show? What? That's the whole Apple show?
Yeah.
I thought it was Scary Fast or whatever their marketing term was for the show.
They were cowards. They didn't turn the comments on.
People are going to be excited about the M3 chipset coming to other things.
There's no comments. I wanted to see the comments. I want to see people bitching like Xbox is better. I wanted to see that.
Xbox is better. Boisha's in our chat saying Samsung better, so it's already here. You don't have to unmute the chat. It's already here for you to partake in. This would be nice. What I was getting at with the right to repair stuff is that this was patched out at some point, and you did not have to do that. And no matter what disk drive you bought and popped in there, you would be okay with. Do they really think they're losing out on this majority of sales if it's $80 if you found a way to put another Ultra HD Blu-ray ROM in there? Is that even possible right now? Or does that void your warranty? So. That stuff all goes back to these arbitrary rules that they have put on us since way back in the day, right? NES you can open with no sticker. Super Nintendo came with that little security bit, so it wasn't easy to tell you had gotten into it. Same with the 64. PlayStation you couldn't tell had been opened. It was GameCube, PS2, Xbox. It was that era that gave that to us. Dreamcast you can open, no issue. Sega's always been for the people. Bring back Sega. New Sega hardware. Confirmed. NOFODcast.
I'm glad you figured it out. They were waiting for you to figure it out. Now they're releasing it as we speak.
We had the power in our hands the entire time.
Yeah. He figured it out.
I'm holding up to the viewers. I got one of those Sega Genesis Hallmark ornaments that plays. Is it the Sonic theme song? It might be really fucking loud. Is that what it does? Oh, my kids killed the battery. Perfect. Even better. I can't even play it because they just left it on.
Is the little tab in the back of it, or no?
I turned the on-off switch. No, I've had this. It's just sitting up here. But my Dreamcast one came in this week. But I haven't done it. I haven't done anything with it. I haven't even taken it outside the box. I need a good.
I know last year after Christmas they went on sale. I got both the Super Nintendo and the Genesis one. They stayed in the box and went in the tote of Christmas stuff, so they will come out here within a few
day
weeks.
Or two. I decided, based off what we paid for our last Christmas tree, we should get 2 months value out of it every year. So I think start of November it's going up. But I had a gaming tree. I had like a cheap gaming tree down here, and it was pre-lit, right? And the lights went out, and I was like, "This sucks. I'm just gonna throw it away." But now I've got the Genesis one, I got the Super Nintendo one, I've got the Dreamcast one now. I've got Sonic and Tails, where Tails is like carrying Sonic. I think you have that one, Brand. I think you showed that one to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Sub-Zero that was clearance out at some point. So Mario with the Tanuki suit.
When you say pre-lit, is it just a strand or two of lights zip tied it with throughout?
Essentially,
the tree?
And it was like $10 on clearance, and it pissed me off just based off principle because I bought 2 of them and my kids did the same thing. It also died.
Well, see, that's easy though. You can just go through and snip the zip ties and buy a couple cheap strands of lights.
Sensitive terminology. We don't just snip what we don't want anymore, Brant. It's not how we go about things in life. No, it didn't look that good anyways, and it was a little bit too big. Like I need a little bit smaller one, so I think it's going to work out to just grab a little basic looking one because I've only got like 5 or 6 ornaments. It's not a big ordeal. It was overkill for what it was doing. Is that it? Is that it on this? Sony's new PS5 model will launch this November in the US before rolling out elsewhere over the following months. The new model will come with 1 terabyte storage for both editions, instead of the measly, what was it, 820 that we got?
825.
825, let's go. Cesar, I didn't mean to discount the extra 5 gigs.
Yeah, let's fucking go. I just saw they came out with a 1.5 terabyte card on the micro SDs. I was like, hell yeah.
That's random, right? 1.5.
Gigabytes, let's go.
Throw them in our Steam Decks. Steam Deck verified.
I don't think I even filled up my Steam Deck 1 terabyte. I don't even know what I'll do with a 1.5. If they get a 2 terabyte, I'll fucking throw a 2 terabyte in there.
Download all the games for Master Chief Collection. I think that's the main like.
Look, my Nintendo Switch is on life support. I got a terabyte card in there and it has like 2 gigs left on it. So,
man,
that's rough, Cesar. It might be time to delete some of that bullshit.
I refuse. I play a lot of
stuff.
Get
rid of it. You don't need all of it now. Clean the fridge. You're scared of cleaning the fridge. Clean out that fridge.
Yeah, I'll be stuck somewhere and be like, oh, fucking Richard told me to delete stuff I didn't need. Now I can't play it. Oh.
I'm so far away from internet connection. It's Richard's fault. Should have bought the 2 terabyte card.
I'm stuck in the middle of the woods in Ohio, that son of a bitch.
What are you doing out there? Camping with Big Ben? You out there with Ben Roethlisberger?
I'm over there just driving through the cornfields.
'Tis the season.
Yeah.
Oof, that's not good. A horizontal stand will be included with the new PS5 model. Also, a new vertical stand compatible with all PS5 models will be sold separately for $29.99. Oh, Sid Schumann. I forgot Sid Schumann's with SIE. To address the evolving needs of players, our engineering and design teams collaborated on a new form factor that provides greater choice and flexibility, said SIE's Sid Schumann. The same technology features that make PS5 the best to play are packed into a smaller form factor, along with an attachable Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and a 1 terabyte SSD for more internal storage. Once inventory of the current PS5 model has sold out, the new model will become the only one available, as they did with the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 4, right? Surprising no one. And the PSP. And the Vita. They've done this with every piece of hardware. That would be disappointing to, I guess, if you were to get one of those models and it required that and it did not go well, I would be very frustrated to have this brand new piece of hardware in front of me and all of a sudden the firmware update didn't apply or something. We all know this happens from time to time. That would not be something good to run into. Or if down the road they have another manufacturer for those disk drives and for some reason that firmware is not compatible. Right? Oh, you got one of the first gen Ultra HD detachable drives. Our patch only works for the second generation one. That's what you do when you segment. Like, this is worst case scenario. I'm not saying this will happen, but these are the type of things that come when you have DRM that applies to a firmware update for a solution that should be plug and play. There should be no additional requirement needed, especially assuming that a need has been addressed for someone who may be out of a fast broadband area and need a physical storage. Let's hope this firmware is like 10 megs or something small they can pull down off of a cell phone connection or something. But time will tell, right? When they start coming out, we'll start hearing reports about this stuff. All right, somebody tell me about Bungie. I'm tired of talking. Tell me about what they're going to do to fix their game. Modern Warfare 3 is not even out yet. It's crazy.
This comes from Tom Ivan, VGC. This is amidst them delaying the next piece of DLC for Destiny 2, as well as...
There was a delay?
Yeah. What's... Marathon. For some reason, I want to say Mayhem. They're delaying Marathon. Bungie is now part of the latest company to experience layoffs in the Sony family. It says, while the scope of job cuts is currently unclear, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier confirmed Bungie's CEO Pete Partson informed employees at the company-wide meeting held today of the situation. Employees impacted by the layoffs is Destiny 2 community manager, Bungie co-lead of accessibility. Yeah, there's the delay of the Bungie Destiny 2 expansion.
How old is Destiny 2 now?
Then,
it still seems like a newer game, but I know it's not.
I feel like it's at least 2 years.
Oh, Destiny 2 came
old.
out I want to say it's moving up to like 8.
Yeah, it's almost
I mean, I may be thinking of the
2017.
last expansion.
It's 6 years old. Oh, you're talking about the expansion. I see. Yeah. Yeah, what even is a game's date anymore, right? Launch date. You can't play that game anymore.
And then the rest of this is just going on through basically the announcements and what they put up publicly and things like that on Twitter. Today's a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made significant impacts on our studio. Except with these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games, and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future.
How long?
And then, from Rupert. Well, my heart is broken for all the affected, Rupert wrote on X.
What's
I am
X?
now looking for...
oh, yeah.
Formerly
no.
Twitter.
No,
It's
no.
Twitter.
I'm now looking for
It's
opportunities.
Twitter. No.
I have 21 years of game industry experience in media, production, and community management. I'm proceeding. I'm processing.
I'm
heartbroken.
Yeah, I'm processing. Apparently, this was sudden news. This was not a rollout of sorts.
Yeah, I don't know what to do from here. This was my home. That's pretty crazy that you've spent 21 years in the industry and probably the majority of it through Bungie, and now all just in one day you're that would be a lot to just somebody come in and go, hey, sorry, but we got to make some cuts.
That name's familiar.
And of course, this at the bottom talks about how last year in July 2022, Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion.
Oh, this is Liana that was at
Game
yes,
Informer.
and Prima, right? Doing something with strategy guides.
She did that too, yeah. and I think CBS Interactive for a while.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
17 years.
I think she worked her way into gaming finally. I think she was doing a lot of media-based stuff for a while.
Community manager at Bungie for Destiny 2 specifically. Also helped rebuild numerous gaming brands from the ground up, including her recent total rebranding of Prima Games and the restructuring of Game Informer magazine. Previous work at GameSpot, CBS, BBC, Game Daily Biz, Twin Galaxies, Shack News, SubNation, and DFTG. Damn. Hopefully she has a job very, very soon. This is a very talented individual. I remember when she left Prima, that was like the end of the strategy guides days. Yep. Mm-hmm. I believe she spearheaded the effort at one point. Cesar was like, split the guide with me. I'll give you the physical guide. I'll keep the digital one, or vice versa. Like, give me the code. I'll split the price with you, that sort of thing. And I think that was one of her initiatives at Prima, was just try to stay relevant with strategy guides to have digital copies, right? Everybody wanted a tablet version of the strategy guide. Yeah. Damn.
And of course, this article has to mention that, this is now just the latest in the line of Medi talking about how just last month Naughty Dog was already talking about cutting contracts shorter with dozens of workers. We also mentioned that Sony Visual Arts Group laid off some workers. Sony confirmed job cuts at the Dreams and Little Big Planet developer Media Molecule, as well as the other industry layoffs, which go across Xbox, Epic Games, CD Projekt, Unity, Riot, Blizzard, Crystal Dynamics, BioWare, Striking Distance, Team 17, Frontier Developments, and Telltale Games.
How have they not mentioned Embracer in that? I was just joking like I was going to be ahead of the Embracer. Embracer is one of the worst. Madness. Well, hopefully everybody lands on their feet. Put out your CVs to everywhere and LinkedIn and scoop up these fine people. Speaking of fine people, Microsoft has started blocking unauthorized Xbox accessories.
No.
Also from Crazy Tom Ivan. It's a reference to a PS1 game, Crazy Ivan. Microsoft has reportedly started blocking the use of unofficial accessories with Xbox consoles, as spotted by Windows Central, a growing number of players using unauthorized, in quotes, third-party accessories have started receiving error message 0x82D60002. If you've gotten that one, this is what's happening.
No.
Anybody have any unauthorized accessories? I tried putting this is weird, guys. I got the new PS5 Ultra HD disc drive, and I tried putting it in the front of my Xbox Series X, and it was not happy and reported error message 0x82D60002, and now I know why. From the moment you connect an unauthorized accessory and receive error code, I'm not reading it again, you'll have 2 weeks to use the accessory, after which time it will then be blocked from use with the console, according to Xbox's support site. At that time, you'll receive error code. I'm not reading it again. We encourage you to contact the store or manufacturer where you obtain the accessory to get help with returning it. Anyone familiar with Windows, this looks exactly like a Windows error code.
Yeah, it's a fucking Windows code all day long. All it's missing is a blue screen, a sad face.
And a QR code taking you to the knowledge base explaining where you fucked up.
That takes me to a generic website where everybody just bitches like, this doesn't tell me anything. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
And you're like, damn it, I should have gone to the Reddit thread. I would have found out more from the Reddit thread than official QR code.
Reimage, always
reimage.
Just
go ahead and reimage. Updated. I guess we can go to the update, not read the rest of the news story. In a statement issued to VGC, Microsoft said unauthorized accessories can, quote, compromise the gaming experience, end quote. Microsoft and other licensed Xbox hardware partners' accessories are designed and manufactured with quality standards for performance, security, and safety. Unauthorized accessories can compromise the gaming experience on Xbox consoles. They note in parentheses that includes Xbox One, Xbox Series, and X and S. Gamers may receive a pop-up warning that their accessory is unauthorized. Eventually, the unauthorized accessory will be blocked from use to preserve the console gaming experience. A full list of accessories that are supported on Xbox consoles can be found here. Microsoft said there's a hot link on this article from Crazy Tom Ivan. at
I
videogameschronicle.com.
don't know. Does it give me a HTTP 404 error when I click on that fountain here? Please.
It's possible.
Loading.
It's possible.
Oh no! It just gives me to the customize, and I can do the new Starfield wrap. Tells me nothing about accessories.
Oh.
Of course, later down in the article, it does mention that more than 50 gaming brands shouldn't be affected. But things such as the Brook Gaming line of
The
products.
Wingman? People love that Wingman thing.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Cronus and XIM
Oh god, look.
accessories.
Brand, look at that first post in the chat. Look at the first post.
Which can
read it out loud, no matter what it says.
Oh my gosh!
Just go to comments.
Oh, that's pretty good. Good job, Charlie B.
That's in the middle.
Somebody said I like to think it's more pads than headsets.
What was it? Accessories which can mimic a mouse and keyboard.
Brent, you're burying the lead. It was a great quote.
Xbox controller. Which
Power
one?
your licensed dreams. It's pretty good. Good job, Charlie B.
Yeah.
Is it Carly B?
Good job. Maybe.
Possibly.
Singer?
Go ahead, Brant. We cut you off.
No, that was it. I'm thinking that they just want to some of those Brook Gaming things where you can literally attach a dongle and then get any accessory, like a PlayStation 5 controller or this controller or whatever linked to your system. Or I would think that possibly those questionable accessories that you plug in and act as like aimbot or aim assist or other little things are possibly being targeted by this as well.
We'll never lose Halo Infinite.
That's what they're after.
Yeah.
Oh, it means I'm going to be better at Call of Duty because I played for a considerable amount of time today and recorded 0 kills. So that felt fantastic. Like a perfect waste of time. Mostly people dropping on the floor to shoot me.
And it does mention, I can't remember where in this article, it says something about a lot of the third-party licensed stuff are all wired controllers.
Thompson. That's the 5th DVD drive for the Xbox. It just dawned on me. Thompson.
The Thompson.
Yeah.
Thompson drives.
Like the Thompson twins?
Yes, hold me now.
Stay with me.
Oh, except that I need an online connection for my new disk drive to authenticate with my original Xbox. It's trying to hold me now.
Yeah, you play that song when you change out your Thompson drive?
only the Thompson drives. What do I play for the Hitachi one, Cesar? Or Philips?
I wanted to say Philip Seymour Hoffman, RIP, but
too soon. It's always too soon. We can't be friends.
Wilson
we can't
Phillips?
be friends forever.
Wilson Phillips. Let's do Wilson Phillips.
Okay. Or
Somehow the only Wilson Phillips fan in this group. I don't understand it, but
was Mama Cass's last name Phillips? There were 2 Phillipses in Mamas and the Papas. All the leaves are brown and the sky's gray.
You're thinking of John Phillips.
Yes. The one he married that was not Mama Cass.
Yeah.
It was the other mama.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, Brant. It's right there. Go ahead, Brant. You know it.
Oh my gosh. Why can't I think of her name?
Yes.
You're driving me crazy.
John Phillips marrying Mamas and Papas. It was not Mama Cass.
Everybody's getting fat. Except Mama Cass.
Oh, Brent has to look this up. We have to know. This is...
oh, wait. Mama Cass, deceased.
Damn.
Sandwich.
Damn.
I thought that was an urban
That's
myth.
Another Austin Powers.
It is a good
reference.
Austin Powers callback. That is an urban myth, though, too, really. Like Elvis in the toilet.
Oh, and the PB&Js.
Mm-hmm. We need these facts, Brant. We can't move along with our day until we know.
Brant.
No one's in the chat saving us either. Somebody could be
Brant.
bailing us out of this madness.
Brant.
Oh my gosh!
Are the Mamas and the Papas on any
Hold
Rock Band or Sing
No,
Star?
Brand, ask ChatGPT. We don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Who was he married to?
Ask ChatGPT.
They would already give you
Why
the
is it?
lore.
That's not his spouse.
We would have been done. We would have been done if you asked ChatGPT.
Michelle. There we go. Michelle Phillips.
What was her name though? She wasn't Mama Michelle or Mama Phillips. What was her name?
It was just
It
Michelle.
was just
Phillips.
Michelle Phillips. Mama Cass. Oh God, is there anything else in this accessories battle? All right, don't use an aimbot or cheat bot. Cronus and XIM. I don't know any of those. In the 360 days, friend of the show Charles bought a Twisted Genius or Evil Genius controller or something like that for. You know what I'm talking about, Brant? You heard of these?
No, I just when this was posted the other day on Twitter, the feed was hilarious because somebody posted a picture of the 360 accessory, the intercooler, and it just said, "Oh no, now my intercooler is not going to work."
Oh God, that's pretty good. Man, we sold the shit out of those things when the red ring scare was going around.
Everybody had.
We
them.
sold the shit out of some intercoolers. But then, like, as soon as we got one in, when we got one in, we popped it on the back and we tested it. We tried it out to see what it would do. Obviously nothing, but they still wanted us to pedal them. Who made that? Was that a Nyko thing?
Yeah, it was a
Did they ever make one for PS3? Was there a PS3 intercooler?
Oh, yeah.
Like there was one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were several.
Talking about something that needed one. But not in the capacity of what the intercooler did. Alright, last but not least. Konami, famed game developer, not of the past 15 years. Konami debuts first in-engine look at Metal Gear Solid 3's remake. This comes from Andy Robinson at VideoGamesChronicle.com. The footage debuted during an Xbox partner preview live stream on Wednesday and offered the first glimpse of gameplay running on Unreal Engine 5. It didn't seem like there was much during this show. I guess this is our only story from the show, so I'm glad I did not take the time to watch this.
Most of it was just stuff all of it was pretty much just updates of things we'd already
Small
seen.
recaps of progress type thing.
Yeah. But this was the thing that definitely got the most hype.
Of course, Andy Robinson notes, first revealed during a PlayStation showcase earlier this year, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will release for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Konami describes the title as a faithful remake. A new generation of players and loyal fans alike can experience the origin story of the famed Big Boss and witness how his legend was forged in the crucible of Operation Snake Eater, it said. Konami has confirmed that neither Hideo Kojima nor Kojima Productions is involved in Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. That's been understood for quite some time.
They keep to repeat it themselves about that.
Like over and over. Why is that a thing?
Yeah.
I think it's a known thing. Do we have to keep rehashing it at this point?
I guess there's people expect to come out there surprise, bitch.
Yeah, I've been here in a box. He comes out from underneath the cardboard box. They let me out.
Yeah. Now I can finally finish Metal Gear Solid 5. Here's the final DLC.
Lock me in the corner again. It's my life's work. They are not involved, a Konami spokesperson said earlier this year. However, the development team will work hard to create this remake and also the ports for Metal Gear Solid Master Collection so that they can be enjoyed on multiple platforms by even more players all around the world. What that actually means is we can sell a lot more copies in a lot more places and make a lot more money. It did look really, really good. I watched this brief clip of Unreal Engine 5 Snake Eater. Time will tell as to how it actually performs, and I wish nothing but success on this so that we get remakes of the other ones, and this is just a starting point chronologically. Because then it'd be what? Peace Walker? And that would get a proper remake of sorts, which arguably needs more of a remake than Snake Eater, I would say.
Yeah.
As that's still currently... I guess I'm looking at it from a... not from a remake standpoint, because those mechanics have aged very well. I still think that game plays perfectly fine. But from a standpoint of accessibility, can I get this on a new machine? And now we can get Snake Eater on something new, so that point's kind of out the window. But it is a remake of that in the vein of a Resident Evil remake, right? Like the first one. Miss Bush said, "Back to Mondays."
Yeah,
I
but
see.
Yes.
That's the.
We only record Mondays when there's shitty teams on Monday Night Football.
Is that what it was? Oh, I had a busy
I don't
Monday.
remember if that's the case or
I
not.
wish. I don't know. It's kind of an entertaining game. I've glanced at it in the background.
Yeah, who's it today? Is it Raiders?
Yeah, Lions.
Raiders?
The Raiders.
I mean, we know the Lions should
The
win
Raiders.
this, so.
They're only up 3 through a quarter. You never know. That's why they play the game. You play to win the game.
Keyword when I said
Should win the game.
Lions should. Yeah.
Speaking of games, what games have you guys been playing? Let's jump into... Are we going to skip games acquired? Do we have some games acquired we want to mention?
I do have some games acquired.
Oh.
I'm sure Cesar at least has one of the same games acquired.
Probably not.
Oh, I hope you guys speak on this a little bit. I know Cesar's been playing
I know
it.
you have this because you've
I know
been playing
Cesar's been playing it. I want to hear some.
Yeah, I'm halfway done with Metal Gear Solid Integral.
You're on disc 2?
Almost.
For the audio listeners, Brant was showing us a copy of the recently released for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch. Don't get that one. And PC. Don't get that one. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. Is that what they called it?
Yes. Volume
1. Which, of course, lends one to believe that there will eventually be Volume 2, 3, 4, and 5. And some data mining was done on Volume 2. And it was discovered, what was it? Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid 5. Was that it? Was it the mainline ones? No Ground Zeroes? Which I guess they would include in Metal Gear Solid 5 these days. My most played version of Metal Gear Solid 5 is Ground Zeroes.
God, I was on a Twitter thread earlier where they were talking about how great that was.
I loved it, man. Were we running the show at that point? Was that one of my games of the year?
Maybe.
I loved Ground Zeroes. I played these.
I need you to go back and re-listen to all the episodes, and you tell me.
Start with the first game of the year episode. I loved Ground Zeroes. I thought it was incredible. I'm gonna skip over Warzone. I had not so great Warzone experiences this past week. Did we win any?
You were not with us. We won.
I watched you guys
on Saturday.
I was with you on Saturday. I was just not participating. We need to up the teams from 4 so that more players can get into Warzone. I've been championing that since we converted all of our Halo crew to Warzone people. I popped in Super Mario Wonder. I played the first 2 levels of that. Handheld. That is an extremely polished Super Mario game. The second level is unlike any Mario game I have ever played before. Coming off a recent procedure I had done, I thought the medication had hit a little bit harder than it normally would. I will not ruin it for anybody who has not played level 2 of the new Mario game. Yep. It is to be experienced, and you do not have to get very far. Listeners, if you know me and you would like to play it, I will bring you my copy, and you may go to town on some Super Mario Wonder level 2. It is pure bliss. But there's just so much polish and so many unexpected things that happen. I like the Wonder Seeds. I think that's an incredible element. Yeah. Are there 3 per level or 2? I got 2 on the first one and 2 on the second one, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe there's
2 per level.
Per level.
Because I'm not sure. It's not beating me on the top of the head on what I have to collect, which I really appreciate. The little flower guy's talking in the background as you go past him. He's like giving you encouragement and stuff like that. Oh. And the mechanic.
There's
him off.
There's a point in the option where you can just turn him to text though, because them constantly in that kind of nasally voice talking a lot, it gets a little annoying after about 5 or 6 levels.
I mean, I changed them to. You can change them to different languages. I changed them to Nihongo, and it sounded fine after.
There you go. I like him. He's really happy. He's
So, Brant, I encourage you to change it to French. I think French was an option on there as well. You let me know how that is.
Let's go!
He's almost like, Torgal in Final Fantasy 16. He was just always with you, and you could stop and pet him. And it's just almost like an encouraging thing throughout the level that this flower is. Mm. He's not really offering hints. He's just like, wow, that was cool. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's always telling you to pay this much. Yeah.
Yeah, so you hit a wonder star or wonder seed thing, and the whole level goes ape shit. And he's like, "Man, that was pretty cool. I've never seen that before." The whole flower's so fucking happy. It's like, I don't know, dude. You live here. You might have seen some shit. You might have been hitting the wonder seeds a little more heavier than usual. Oh man, but it plays flawlessly. Like, as much as we talk about Switch needs new hardware, it can't play this, this, and this, and then Nintendo puts out one of these that just looks flawless on that OLED specifically. I might stick with the Joy-Cons. I don't hate the Joy-Con controls. I'm playing it handheld, of course. I bet it's great with you guys' GameCube thing. Have y'all played it with your, what's that thing called? We need to plug it. It's friend of the show. Nitro Deck?
Nitro Deck.
How does it control with that?
Exclusively a Nitro Deck.
Great.
Yeah, that'd be.
I mean, I don't think I've used a Joy-Con since I got that Nitro Deck. Joy-Con.
That's almost worth it, because as I'm playing this Mario platform and I'm using this too stupid arrow, not a D-pad is all I can describe it as on the left side. I'm like, damn it, this would be so much better with an actual physical D-pad. I had it on NES. Why can't I have it on this console?
You get some levels later on, you'll need that D-pad.
I bet. I've seen some people I follow on Twitter that are retro game enthusiasts. They are using the Super Nintendo controller, the Switch Online Super Nintendo controllers. Like, this is the way this game's meant to be played. And it feels like, it legit feels like a new 2D Mario. It does not feel like one of the new Super Mario Brother games, which I love.
I mean, yeah, it's like a lot of people are saying it's like a Super Mario World sequel, and that's what it feels like when I play it.
It really does. I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Like I said, I played 2 levels, and that was just kind of a sneak play, and I was like, damn, this is actually pretty fucking good. I like that you can hold another power-up, Super Mario World style. Call that power-up down when you need it. Not that in 2 levels I've like been barraged with enemies and difficulty, but I like that. I've always liked that touch in the Mario games when they added that.
Before I forget, Richard, you probably saw it too. There's new games coming on Nintendo Switch Online: Castlevania Legends, Devil World, and the mysterious Murasame Castle.
Castlevania Legends for Game Boy?
Game Boy. OG Game Boy.
Yeah. It's a very expensive cartridge, if I remember correctly. Alright, so we're not going to talk about that next week. New Nintendo Switch Online games. What are they again, Cesar?
I just happened to see it. Oh, Castlevania Legends on Game Boy, Devil World, and the mysterious Murasame Castle on NES.
What is Devil World?
Looks like that weird Capcom. I don't know, man. It's like, looks like Bust-a-Move with Akuma. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Oh, Castlevania Legends is after the point where they figured out, don't do massive sprites across the screen. This looks like a competent Castlevania. Is it on any of the collections we've gotten so far?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't.
That'd be important.
Hold on. I'm firing up the Game Boy Advance.
That's
bullshit.
important.
Let's see.
All right, Devil World's for NES.
No, it's
from
not 1984. On there. Yeah, it's
1984.
not on there. There's no way. Yeah.
Oh, Devil World is wild looking. Damn it. This is a very NES looking game. Is that the little guy from Bubble Bobble? The little green green dinosaur guy? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, what do they call it? Bust-a-Move over here?
Yeah, Bust-a-Move. Or was it Bust-a-Move or Bubble Bobble?
They called it so many different things, man.
Mysterious Murasame Castle. I need to look up the history on this one. It's like a ninja-based Zelda-looking game. It looks good. Oh, this looks amazing.
Yeah, here we go. It's Richard Puzzle Bobble, internationally known as Bust-a-Move.
Oh, naturally. We get Bust-a-Move for NES. Cesar, look at this Mysterious Murasame Castle. Is there anything on that one? That game looks amazing. Legit looks like Zelda. Like a beefed up version of Zelda, not a early Famicom NES version.
It does look like it's borrowed from the
that looks
Zelda
great.
template.
Devil World is a title that Shigeru Miyamoto worked on but never came out here, according to Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I think they had the use of religious imagery in there. That's why they never released it over
Despite the shield and the freaking... I'm gonna say it incorrectly.
That's why that name sounds familiar. I remember that whole thing. We were like, oh, it has crosses in there and it's got doubles. And it's like we can never release.
I mean, we had a Zelda game with a dungeon that was You know what symbol?
Yeah, but it wasn't called Legend of Devil.
Yeah, but it wasn't also the Legend of Nazis.
Oh, you talking about the Majin symbol?
Yes.
That's just the Majin
Yes.
symbol. Yeah.
Which was bastardized by a certain German political party in the 30s and became a hate symbol.
If you watch the anime Tokyo Revengers, which is very somewhat popular right now, the Majin symbols in there, and they have to edit that out every episode. It's like weird blank spaces on their clothing.
But that made that here. Like, how did that make that here? It's crazy to me. My other games played. Friend of the show, Russell and I, my copy of Diablo 4 came in. So we were able to get in some couch co-op. Cesar, we're probably right where you left off at. It's like past the main introduction.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I've been there waiting there since the game launched.
That's where we are. I'm trying to get him to. So he signed in with his Activision ID. I don't know if he wants to make it a couch co-op game. I keep sending him the GameFly Xbox copy for $28. I'm like, please God, let's just play this game. I don't know if he's going to pick it up or not, but it looks amazing. Maybe Boosh will get that. We'll talk Boosh into an online game, and then...
Boosh, come on.
Boosh knows he could play with you, and then I end up falling off somehow. It's really, really good, though. That intro part of Diablo 4 was incredible. We were having a lot of fun. I was like a ranged... I guess a ranger character. I can't remember what class we picked. Scout, maybe, was mine. But it's the one that hangs back and shoots bow and arrows and stuff.
I didn't choose that one. I chose regular
Russell's
guy. Warrior. I chose warrior.
Russell's not a barbarian. He's a warlock or a wizard. He's one of the magic type ones. Boosh says he's fallen for the scam too many times. He's not gonna get Diablo.
Hey, man, Boosh. Hey, look, I've been waiting, man. I got my Pokemon's completed, man.
Oh shit! How does it feel, Boosh? Yeah. How does it feel? Russell's.
I think the last thing he told me is it's gonna take him a while before he's ready, and the Pokemons are the Scarlets and the Violets.
Russell's come back to me on Diablo was I'll just wait for it to be on Game Pass in 6 months. Really, man? It's been fun couch co-op though. It's cool that so what I like about this one versus previous ones I had played, you can pull up your menus independently. So Brant, you want to go in there and re-equip a new item, I can keep moving around and hacking and slashing and grinding, leveling up, that sort of thing, and you'll just come behind me and you're in your own menu equipping weapons and all that kind of stuff, and you follow along. Like, it doesn't have to be some crazy teleportation to the person who's moving forward, that sort of thing. And each person's items are, you both get the loot. Like, I don't see anything we've had to fight over. Gold is split equally. It seems to be a really good hack and slash masterpiece so far, honestly. It seems really good. I wanted to keep playing, and we'd gotten far enough in, maybe an hour. It's that first intro bit. But now they've introduced you to a shopkeeper, and you're starting to get some missions that are not just the tutorial and the main story bit. And you can mark, it's easy to mark stuff because you're getting stuff nonstop, right? Like, I've already gone through 3 pairs of boots. I've upgraded boots 3 times like that fast. And it's real nice. You can mark the things in your inventory as junk so that you can sell them later. So you want, as you go through your inventory and look and see, like, all right, do these boots have more magic? Do they have more defense? Is there something better that I can equip here? You can mark them as junk so you don't have to look at them again and review them and sell them and stuff. So it's like, I've got some right now that are lower level boots, but they have more magic resistance or something. But I decided, hey, that's the build I'll go. I'm going to take that perk over the other ones. It's adding things slowly. Like, first we just had X to attack, and now we have, I think, square as a special. So, like, for me, that'll be a ranged attack. So everybody kind of just had daggers to start off with. And now Russell has a nice sword. I have a nice sword, but I can step back with the bow and arrow and shoot stuff. I think the first boss gave us a crossbow. It's good, man. It plays flawlessly. I'm not to the point I was sold on the haptic feedback, and I'm not to the point where I'm really feeling haptic feedback yet. I'm assuming they ease you into that, and when you start getting more special weapons, you feel that tactile feedback in the controller and stuff. I'm hoping. We'll see.
It's been so long since I played, I don't even remember. I've been sitting here waiting for you guys.
It's good, man. I'm assuming we're in that same... We just got to the main hub area. Like, we beat the tutorial, and we're just sitting there in that main hub area. I bet that's where we are.
I'm there, man. I've been there since the game launch.
That's good. I might hit you up. I might see what Russell's plans are. I might hit you up. Either way, you can join with his character, and it won't be the same story missions, I guess. I don't know how that works when you separate the campaigns from tiers of Because I've read about, level 50 character, level 20 character can get in the party, and it's scaled appropriately for each player, and still gives you loot and that kind of stuff, which is brilliant.
I'm not dragging you. People are not dragging you along. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this game's so
Stay
easy.
back.
I don't know why people are bitching
Yeah,
about
just sit
it.
back. You'll die in one hit, but I'll kill this boss, and then you'll get the experience. And I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
It's wild how game design's gotten so advanced, right? That scalability with difficulty and leveling up and such. But those are my games played for this past week. I sucked at Warzone. I played decently at Super Mario Wonder. And I excelled greatly at Diablo 4 cooperatively on PlayStation 5. Couch co-op.
I'm glad you graded yourself.
I did. You like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was complete ass on Call of Duty, so I had to make sure I put that part out there.
Hey man, should have went to work like the rest of us.
It would have been not well for me that night, so it was much more fun to watch. Booch says he's still trekking on Pokemon slowly but surely. Cesar.
No, I'm talking about you should have went to work today. You played did you play Call of Duty today?
Briefly.
Yeah, there we go.
All deaths.
Should have went to work today like
I
the rest of us.
did.
Me and Brent out in the field.
Tell me about Metal Gear.
No, me and Brent out there slaving away on the heat. It's hot. It's hot as fuck.
Oh my god!
What are you doing outside?
It's hot, and then it's supposed to be cold as hell.
Yeah, it's hot as hell because I got to go to different areas in my job, man. I got to touch the outdoors. I got to hit the sun on my face.
It's hot tomorrow.
He's got to touch some
Well,
grass.
it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, right? The cold snap comes
I'm
in.
about my sinuses are already killing me. I can already feel it. My head
The
hurts.
post-Halloween snap.
Let's see. For me, outside of me, Brant, and Boosh, and Ezra, we're winning in
You guys are the
Call of
champions.
Duty like we always do. Yep. You watching does not count. I'm gonna die on that hill. Anything you want to add to the Call of Duties, Brant?
No.
We can tag team.
We ran into a lot of sweaty people though.
That's all I'm
Very
doing now.
sweaty,
I'm
man.
losing one. I'm losing every single 1v1. Every single one. I know I'm gonna die.
I mean, no, it's sweaty, man. They're like, there's 4 of us there, and they're hunting us down. I was like, man, I'm down. Leave me alone. They're like, no, I gotta kill this guy.
And every time you resurge, you come back, and I mean,
It's the same guy that's killing you.
Yeah, you literally, you're like, okay, I know they're right here. Let me go over here and start, ramping some stuff up, or maybe I'll jump over here because the loadout just dropped. As soon as you drop down, it's the same team, and they're right there.
So fucking sweaty, man. They're so.
One of the ones today with Russell, we died in the canal on Vondel. So if you don't swim in the side of the canal, you drop down that sewer manhole. So that's where we're at. And I was like, Russell, just ping the manhole, just drop down there and get my stuff. So I dropped down on it, and I'm trying to go down that fucking ladder. They're lighting me up, and I can't get down it. They kill me at the top of the thing. What does my body do? It falls down the fucking thing I was trying to get up to start with. And I was like, really? That just happened. That was the culmination of my aggravation today. And I was like, this is not meant to be. I can't deal with this. And they got rid of duos. So we're doing this no-fill squad trios.
What?
And me and Russell, we're always getting outnumbered every single time. I'm losing 1v1, which doesn't matter in numbers, but we're still losing.
There's no duos because like when me and Buish were playing, when we're doing duos, it's the same way. We came in like 22nd and 21st the next round. It was like, it was bad.
Embarrassing Call of Duty.
Like it's 3 people, man. As soon as you land, you get wiped
Yep.
out. It's hard to do it with duos, man.
You're automatically down a person every time. Sucks.
On the Mario Wonder front, I think I'm on the 3rd world, so I'm like halfway through the game.
It's short?
I don't know if it's short, man. It just I got to Special World, which is very reminiscent of Star World from Super Mario World, and that shit it's not a joke, man. I think I did try to do that first level for like the first 10 minutes. It's like, no, fuck it. I'll come back later if I die 10
I'm
times.
not good enough. I need to figure out these mechanics better.
I mean, it was music based where it does the 1, 2, 3, and then a panel appears, and you got to bounce off the panel and wait the right time to hit the next panel before it appears with the music. It
sounds insane.
It's tight gaming, very tight gaming. I just like, know what, I'll do this later, and I'll just continue on with said story. Which is me just defeating castles, get royal seeds to destroy the piranha clouds around Koopa, so I can go fight him in the end. So, but I mean, some of these levels are like really difficult. And
Already?
and then there's some parts of the levels that got a lot of hidden stuff that's reminiscent of the old 2D Mario games from the NES and Super Nintendo stuff, which is pretty
awesome.
cool. So yeah, I think this game is very much. I agree with a lot of people. This is like a Super Mario World sequel, and they just took like a lot of the shit they've been doing for like the last 10 years with the 2D Mario games, like the new Super Mario Brothers Wii and the Wii U one, and added that multiplayer mechanic in there to like a standard Mario 2D game. So it's good. It's good. I like it a lot. I'm getting like Super Mario World vibes on it. I agree with that assessment.
That checks
on it,
out. Just my 2
made.
levels. That checks out. I'm playing as Mario, by the way.
Like,
it feels canonical.
I mean, every time you start it up, it always like, you sure you want to play this guy? And it's like, oh, you could randomize. I'm like, just fucking give me the thing I chose.
And you could switch. Like in between the second levels, I actually played the second level as Luigi, and it just lets you go in there and pick a new person.
You can switch to anybody. Yeah, I think that. What was it like? Was it Yoshi and Navi are the ones that have they die less or something like that, or what it was? I don't know.
I don't think they die. They can't die at all.
Yeah.
Unless you fall off the level.
Nice.
I think.
But yeah, I mean, I've gotten the badge mechanic like Brant alluded to last week. So I've got like the one where as soon as I hit the ground, I get one jump, so I don't die immediately, and then the wall jump and the dolphin kick, and then the floating with the cap, the long jump. I
haven't seen any of these badges yet. I saw the place in the menu for them.
Yeah, you're probably getting close. I think the first one you get is within the first like 4 levels.
Okay. It's like the first one is like the hat floating one, and you have to get it. I think it forces you to go. But then I got the spring one, which is fucking useless. So I'm like, I'm just bouncing around. And I was like, this is just gonna get me to my death. Outside of that, I don't know if Brant played any. He can probably take over. Did you play any Metal Gear, Brant?
No, I have not.
Okay. So I did start doing the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. Is that what it's called? Master Collection, yeah.
Yeah.
So I fired up the first game, which comes with like 4 versions of it's 4 different versions of that Metal Gear Solid game. So like you got the OG original release.
Are you talking about the MSX games or just the Metal Gear Solid for PS1?
Metal Gear Solid. Not Metal Gear. Not Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid. So I think it has like 4 of them on there. So it has like the OG release, which you can choose the European, the Japanese language, as well as the American version on there. It does not let you go back and forth. Like, so when you choose one, it's like choosing an ISO, even though you had to download the Japanese language pack. So it's like if I choose the Japanese one, it's like I can't swap back and forth between English translation or the Ego translation. And then you have like the different versions of the VR missions, and then you have the one I'm playing is an integral one, which is the US release, which is the US voice acting with a Japanese script. That's the one I'm playing, which is the Metal Gear Solid Integral, which is like I don't know if it would be called the best version. I think it's the one where they made some changes on there to like whatever they fixed from the original release. So that's the one that was a Japanese release only. It doesn't have the Police Knots theme at the beginning with the do 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 do. They removed that one. So so when I fired it up, it doesn't have that one on there. But yeah. So I mean, the text is in Japanese, the voice acting's in English. Yeah, so that's the one I'm playing on that one. So I think I've gotten like an hour into the game, and I'm fighting Psycho Mantis right now. So
Psycho Mantis.
Yeah, all the references.
Behind D.
The fourth wall referencing stuff. The music stopped. So that's the weird.
So they were talking about before the game release that there's basically you can mock up what games are in your memory card. Is that how that works? That fight works with Psycho Mantis?
When he read my memory,
your mind.
It was clear. I didn't fuck around and put any mock stuff in there. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How would you do that if you were to enter something?
I don't know. I'd probably have to go in the collection and fuck around with that. I didn't go that far. I mean, I literally just played Metal Gear Solid. What Brant said, I fired up Metal Gear MSX, which is fucking just an emulator that's running the Metal Gear Solid HD collection because it has that logo on the bottom right when you fire it up.
Interesting.
Which is weird. And then I went into the extras part and did the Metal Gear on NES with the God tier translation. I fell asleep.
Yeah. Oh boy.
which is not that. It's not that. I mean, it looks like machine translation because when I played the Japanese one, it's not that far because it's like.
What the Japanese one say?
The Japanese one's like Neru, which is like sleepy, and it just goes to sleep. So I'm like, I was laughing. I was like, it's not too far from it. I was like, it's pretty close.
But it's because it wasn't ours. I feel asleep instead of I fell asleep. It was like I feel asleep.
I think it's I feel asleep. Yeah. I feel asleep is what it was. Yeah. And so I played that for a little bit, and then I jumped off that. So I've just exclusively done Metal Gear Solid 1. So
it still holds up. You sent me a clip. It still holds up.
Yeah, it does, and I still like it. I can see some of the weird. I don't know. That game is very like 1990s action-esque, so it's like it's very stuck in its time. So it's like me when I sat down and I was like, I'll watch Speed for like 10 minutes, and then I ended up watching the whole Speed. I was like, fuck! I sat here for an hour and 30 minutes. Dun, 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 dun.
I love Metal Gear
Pop
Solid.
quiz. But yeah, that's it for me. So I mean, that's pretty much off touch. I mean, I literally played like 20 minutes at Alan Wake 2. I haven't gotten that far in it, but
it got amazing reviews.
Yeah. I mean, because you start out like some weird dude that's naked that wakes up in the middle of the lake, and it's weird because it's like he's just walking around like this, and it's just like you see everything. I'm like, oh, God, what's happening? And then like he gets murdered by some cult people, and like he's like stabbed in the heart, and then like they call in like these FBI agents. Like one of them is like Sam Lake from
It's
Remedy.
literally Max Payne.
It's him. Yeah, it's him. He's just in there like, yeah, I'll let you run this investigation. And then the young lady, I forgot what her name is. So it's like it's almost like a like Fox and Scully.
Mulder.
Coming
Fox
in.
Mulder and Agent Scully.
Coming in to do this investigation for like this cult killings, and that's where the mechanics of the game starts teaching you, because like it is very jump scary because I'm running around in the woods and I'm just seeing like deformed faces of like Alan Wake flying in front of my screen and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Wow.
So as this guy like stabs him to death, I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah, basically, you know, I had used to work with a coworker who said it was his biggest fear is like ever coming across a fight with somebody with a knife, and it's like it's slowly just coming down into you, and you can't stop it. That's like his biggest fear.
Why would you put that in any of our heads? What's wrong with you?
I don't know why that was always a conversation.
Shit.
He's like, man, he's like, that's the only thing I'm ever scared of. I was like, you just see it coming down and you can't stop it as it enters you. And I was like, I don't know how we got there, but I remember him making that comment. It's like ever since then, that's always been vividly in my mind. Every time I see somebody use a knife, it's like, oh God. It just
that
reminds
is so
me.
dark. Are they still around, or did they meet their fate?
No, they're still around. I don't know how this came up in the conversation, but I know that was like his biggest fear was knives. So.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
But yeah, that's it. Enjoy your nightmares from now on. I've been suffering from them for like the last 6
Happy Halloween, bitches.
Yeah, you're welcome. Continue on, Brant.
I finished Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
Man, you
For
guys
the PS5.
mowed through some damn Spider-Man.
I finished the main story. There's still some side stuff I've got to do.
As one does.
My one criticism with some of the fights, the set pieces are amazing in this game, but there's a couple fights with certain characters, and you know, usually you fight a boss, if there's going to be multiple stages, they have like a big long health bar, and you whittle it down to a certain point, and then, you know, it goes through something, you know, the stage changes, or the boss changes their form or something crazy, and then the fight continues. There's two fights in Spider-Man where the enemy appears, the health bar fills above their name, and you fight them, you deplete the health bar completely, and then the health bar just refills and you continue the fight.
No, Brand, you don't know about the seashells, man? The 3 seashells.
And
there's like 3 dots to the left of that life bar, and then when you beat it, one of the dots goes away. And then it goes... I saw it too when I looked at this. There's multiple dots.
I didn't see those.
Yeah.
They must be kind of
They're small. They're
So
there.
they-
I was about to say-
And they're not.
Yeah, there's
they're
dots
not
there, yeah.
separated by stages of the fight. They're just like groupings of
Not-
health.
So
In
so-
two instances,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Literally,
The fi-
like you're
final
just
boss
fighting
battles,
them.
different environments for the final
Yeah.
boss battle.
The
That's it.
final boss battle is like your typical, like it progressive. It gets more
And that-
crazy.
And that final boss looks like another hero from another comic book with said attachments that grew out of him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, are we in the right comic book universe? I was like,
But yes, there are two fights where that health bar, you deplete it and it just goes right back up. You're
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Brant,
And
go
it-
back. They're tiny little
Okay.
dots, and because I had to look at it too, because I was like, this is
Damn.
bullshit. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
the dots are there.
You're like, what I do
So I was like,
wrong?
okay,
Why do I have
okay.
to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought it was me with the damn RPGs where maybe I have to lose this battle.
And then literally, like, you're like, okay, rule of threes, and you do it 3 times, and it fills up it again, and you're like, son of a bitch.
Rule of threes, exactly.
But and for me, at least, that not seeing those 3 little dots, it kind of there wasn't that sense of progression for me, because like I said, normally it's the big health bar above the enemy. You depleted a certain amount, and whatever happens, and then you continue your fight against the boss.
I don't know. I agree with you, Brian. I would have been okay with this if they would have came out like a green bar that goes to yellow, then goes to red.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, then I can see like, oh, okay, how much going. I forgot what game I just recently saw that had that, but there was something I played.
There's several games that have that mechanic too.
That multicolor life bar instead of the 3 seashell one.
I'm gonna have to look at
I'm
that.
going with my Demolition Man reference all the way,
Damn.
man. Yeah.
But yes, the game. If I had to segment it into 5 parts, like I said, the first part of the game is a great introduction. It's very, very good to set up everything, and then the second part is a little bit slower. It's more exposition. It's more character building, plot building, and then the last 3 chapters are go go go. Like literally, it
Pedal
doesn't
to the
stop,
metal.
and it just keeps going. And it ends on a very high note. What was weird was, and I mean Cesar will get this, you get one character that's like, oh, you have to help this person, please, by all means help them, and then at the end you've helped them. I mean, they're not in the best of shape, but they're not dead, you know. And this character's like, what did you do? It's like, hey, you said help them. They're not dead.
No, you know
So-
the rules, man. It's always Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yes, always Spider-Man. Always the
He did this.
always the
Is that part of the
Spider-Man.
narrative framing where they won't give him credit for certain things? Is that how that works?
No, this was kind of like setting up for the next part of the story.
it's setting up.
I got you.
for the third. Well, I guess what would be the assumed third game.
And like Cesar said, there's the main story kind of leads to one plot for what's gonna kind of be one of the main driving forces for the next game. There are 2 side.
Flame.
There's 2.
Flame.
There are 2 side missions that I went through, which involve the flame, and then
Flame.
there's another mission where Craven is got these drones, and they're hunting someone in particular, and you have to go through across the city and track each one down and figure out who the heck it's actually targeting. And that is another thread for another piece, which is pretty interesting. So I'm assuming they are going to do a third game. They've already talked about, I believe it was today I heard that the Spider-Man games and the Wolverine game are technically all in their own specific universe together.
Oh.
So they all
1078, baby. 1078.
they all coexist together. So it's possible that we could see some kind of crossover, if not a cameo in the Wolverine game. It's possible that Insomniac has been doing great work with these games. It's possible that, hey, they do this Spider-Man game, they do the Wolverine game, and then possibly down the road they do
Resistance.
this other game that involves more heroes, you know.
Killzone.
So
Killzone.
But no, but I mean, to echo what Brand says, man, I do like they introduce at the very end of the game another character that's also a hero in the comic books that they don't showcase very
That's
often.
pretty
either,
cool.
So.
yeah,
So like I like what they're doing with this because you normally see these type of Spider-Man games and they always stick to the true like all right, cut and paste the Spider-Man, Goblin, blah blah blah. This one is like they seem to be pulling a lot better from the source material on this one and kind of making changes and tweaking stuff as it goes.
You mentioned
through,
that deep cut last week.
Oh man, Agent Venom was that one got me, dude. I was like, holy shit! I never thought to this day I was seeing Agent Venom. I probably would have seen Agent Venom if they would have did like a Guardians of the Galaxy type game because he was in that team for a while. And there's another Venom throwback in there that's also been in recent comics too that Brant knows because it said Spider-Man gets that ability, but it's not him that has it in the comics. But this is a very symbiote-esque.
heavy.
This is very much a symbiote.
It's focused on that feature and loop.
Almost
That is the climax of the story.
Almost found my copy of Separation Anxiety from Super.
Hey, I have the lesser Maximum Carnage behind me, so
What
a game
was one of those a red
probably
cartridge?
would have been better as co-op.
The Maximum
Carnage is the red cartridge.
Wasn't it red for Super Nintendo?
I wasn't rich enough to afford that one when I was a child. I was given the gray reprint cartridge.
I just have the straight black Genesis cartridge. So
I may not own a Spider-Man game up until like
32X.
I don't have the 32X one. That one's expensive. I don't think I have the PS1 or Dreamcast ones. I think it's like PS2, Xbox, GameCube before I have a Spider-Man video game.
I think the first Spider-Man game I bought was outside of that. Well, I didn't buy the Super Nintendo one. That was given to me as a gift when I was a kid. But I haven't bought one since until Shattered Dimensions. I probably was the first one.
You never dabble with the PS2 or Xbox, the movie tie-in ones? No?
No, I mean, I wasn't a fan of movie tie-ins at the time, even though people were all over
The
it.
web slinging was
those.
always raved about on the second one. Yeah.
I literally haven't tried it at all. So
Wow.
I don't know how it plays. So it would be like the equivalent of me. It would be me, aka Renee, and then you give me a copy of Mario 64, who he has never played that game before, and I'm like, oh
No, he has. He played it here.
he played it.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah, but he had a 64 for like when it came out and never played.
Oh, how do you have a Mario 60? How do you have a 64 no Mario game? It's like a 1-to-1 attach rate. Damn it, Renee.
Oh, it's like I forgot to bring up in the news. We're getting a new Nintendo Switch SKU for the holidays. A new bundle.
One of Richard's
I haven't
favorite
seen
bundles.
this.
You can guess it because you'll probably get it right. It's the only bundle you care about.
Mario Kart.
Richard.
It was already
There we go.
announced. That's not news.
No. The screen is different. What would
It's
it
an
be,
OLED
Richard?
screen one?
You get a different screen.
It's an updated OLED SKU with Mario
Wow.
Kart 8 Deluxe. Download
Get that
code
one, people.
And 3 months. 3 months of Nintendo.
Get that
Online.
one, people. Splurge for the OLED. You'll be happy. The OLED is dope.
Richard heard their OLED, his brain exploded.
Yeah, you had me. I was like, ooh, I might get another one.
Time for
No need.
OLEDs for everyone as you come to your house. Everybody
You
grab
get
an
an
OLED. We're gonna
OLED.
play Mario Kart.
And then the rumor is,
Yeah.
with this new hardware is not going to be an OLED at launch. It's like, really?
It's a new Samsung like mini LEDs or something like that.
Oh, you heard a follow up to that. I just heard.
That's
I
supposed
just
to-
heard it wasn't OLED.
I mean, shit, they just fucking put it with they're about to put an OLED in iPad Pros next year. So look how long it took them
Also
to do
true.
that shit. So shit's expensive.
How did
Yeah.
Sony pull it off 10 years ago in the Vita? Did they lose their ass on
I mean,
the Vita?
Sony knows how to. Sony knows how to make
Probably.
hardware, man. I mean, there's only 2/3 of us here excited about the new PSP. So
We should all be excited about the PSP.
Speaking of
Paid off my
PSP,
PSP today. Can't wait to get that thing.
I
Hey,
know. I can't wait to be playing the
Brant.
PSP next month.
Brant, my
Brand new
last PSP also came with Spider-Man, the movie.
speaking of PSP, this is in my hardware
acquired. You got a hell of a deal, man. I'm pretty excited for you. I'm actually jealous.
Recently picked up this bad boy, which is a PlayStation Portable Go.
I've never heard it said that way. I've never heard
Go.
PlayStation Portable Go. That struck me as funny.
That's what it says. PlayStation Portable Go.
I heard this week Nintendo Switch Entertainment System, and I was just like, what? NWES? I was like, wait, what? My brain broke. PlayStation Portable Go. He's not wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's just not common terminology.
And I was lucky enough to get this. This actually is, I guess, a later model that's actually got 16 gigabytes of onboard memory.
I thought they all had 16. Did one of them have 8? I feel like they all had 16.
I don't know. I have not done the deep dive.
I've never even seen... When I see your PSP, your PlayStation Portable Go, it will be the first PlayStation Portable Go I've ever seen. I've never laid eyes on one.
It came with video output cables that work perfectly.
I have component cables for those if it takes the same one as the regular PSP.
I do.
I'd have to check.
Because PSP 2000 and 3000 also export with via component cableage.
It's the only way I could play Tales of Eternia for the longest time.
Did you get the dock with it, Brent? Interestingly,
no dock.
Because I think you could pair a DualShock 3 with the PSP dock, PlayStation Portable Go dock, and then with the component cables, you just have it's really the Switch before the Switch, right? And no UMD, no UMD support. So if you just went all digital on PSP at a certain point, then you bought a Go with all the accessories, you essentially had a Switch.
So this was a piece of hardware that back in the day I did not see the use for. I had my original PSP, and just could not fathom not having a disk drive, not being able to pop my physical media into this, having to download everything, which downloads take a really long time, and just like the PS3, you have to download and then it has to install. But this thing is a fraction of the size.
Brand, I want to see it. Bring it in. You have a Teams meeting on your calendar?
It is a fraction of the size. It is nothing as far as weight goes. I mean, it's about as big as, or smaller as, a wallet. So it's a lot easier to throw in your pocket.
Size, gaming.
I may have, received this and then reset it and done some magic on through file additions.
I thought it came previously magicked.
It did.
You wanted to perform the magic yourself.
I did because I didn't. That person's account stuff was still tied to it, and I started messing with it, and it was fine. I turned it off and came back to it later, and it was giving me that error message of cannot authenticate software for certain things. So I was like, okay, well, I'll redo all this. This is fine.
Unlike a Wii U, which you're stuck with if it's signed in with that.
Yeah. So I did all that. Went to connect to the internet and found that this thing does not play well with the new forms of internet. It needs old school protocol, just WAP. That's all it needs.
What does that stand for, Brant?
Wireless access protocol?
Well, we'll go with that.
Something?
It does stand for other things. Yeah, it does. I forgot about that. Yeah. Now you mention it does stand.
I saw
I'm not
Cesar
gonna
looking
say the
around. I
other
saw
thing.
Cesar looking around.
We're not going to say the other thing.
I don't know why I know that, but I do. That's
We're not, no buckets and mops,
Yes,
sir.
WAP, my favorite connectivity type. Can't beat it. I actually have an old router, Brant, and you can use it if you want to with like my SSID and stuff on there, and I'll give it to you. I'm sure you've solved this, but just plug that into your modem temporarily, and you'll have the older protocols that you can have internet access to.
So
Brant can even go old school and plug in that Nintendo USB adapter to get some Wi-Fi access in his computer.
I have
one
of those somewhere.
The workaround for this was either old router, go into your router and set up a guest Wi-Fi with no permissions, or connect your phone to your wireless network, or your cellular network, and do a hotspot with no permission, or no password, nothing, just an open connection. So I'm doing that from home, where I know nobody else is going to connect to it, and it works great. Here's the other quirk, though, because I've got so many games on this thing right now, but I still haven't filled up the full 16 gigs. I've been playing around with Rock Band Unplugged, some PS1 titles, no problem. I found Pepsi Man. I'm a fan of Gamera, who is a flying turtle kaiju.
I forgot Gamera was the turtle one. I was trying to describe kaiju to the missus, and she totally did not get it. And I was like, I don't know how else to do this.
Godzilla's
and then Pacific Rim. Like, we both really enjoyed Pacific Rim. I was like, you remember they loaded up in those big suits and they went and fought the monsters that came out of the ocean? Those were kaiju in the ocean.
You sure it wasn't a fever dream?
Maybe this argument, the way it looped around, it was a fever dream, because it felt like it was like 2 hours of me trying to explain what a kaiju was.
Just show her the movie. Holy shit.
There was a point being made, but I was like, I'm not entertaining this any further, because I realized I was in the loop, and I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with this thing.
But I found a Gamera game for PlayStation 1. That's Gamera 2000, and it plays exactly like Panzer Dragoon. I mean, literally, the panning the camera 360 degrees around your craft. The only difference is, like, Gamera flies up above you, and he, like, helps you attack all these weird aliens and ships that are flying around you. But it still does, like, the targeting attacks and stuff like that. It's freaking Panzer Dragoon ripoff, but it's actually pretty.
And we never got it.
We never got it, but it's a Japanese game that's all in
Sony, right?
Yeah, it's all in English.
Yeah, it's published by Sony.
It's like the Pepsi Man game. It's all in English, and it just has Japanese subtitles.
I've played other games in that 2000 series, though. NFL Blitz 2000, NHL Hockey 2000, Blues Brothers 2000, Tempest 2000.
There you go. Yeah.
Gamora 2000.
But so far I've come across a weird bug, though, is some of these Activision games that I've found, including Spider-Man 2 for the PSP, as well as Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix. I boot them up. I still have plenty of memory left, and I get a error code that says this game needs however many kilobytes to save.
Not the IM error.
And without sufficient memory, you are going to be unable to save. Do you want to continue? And what? I continue. I go through and I go to save, and it still gives me the error code. And I back out all the way to the menu, and I've got however many gigs. I mean, gigs of data.
Sounds like a known issue with your Magic.
I looked it up, and apparently some of the there are certain titles that do not recognize large
It's
amounts
too large of a capacity.
of memory.
Because wasn't that early storage like
And-
FAT32? Yes.
Yeah,
You're not
and
going to be able
it
to.
literally it was some of those early memory cards were megabytes. I think one of the biggest one, the first one that they came out with that was the biggest was only a gig, I think.
Is there a utility?
So
is there a utility in the Magic that will spoof a smaller card as like an offshoot? You know what I mean? Like a memory card mounted virtually on the memory,
I don't know.
akin to what PS3 did legally, if you think of it that way.
I'm gonna have to look. The workaround I've seen for this is to literally just add games until you get down to a certain memory.
Oh man, that's chasing. That's a hell of a pipe dream to save for four or 5 games.
Yeah, or you can use a different PSP or use the emulator and make a save file and import it to your system, and then it will
recognizes
just find it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also thinking you had your other PSP there. I have physical copies of the 2 games you mentioned. You might be able to carry out if you're dying to play those. You can certainly borrow those physical copies and play it that way.
Oh, I've played them before back in the day.
You and we need to chat after the show.
Things at this thing.
Yeah, you're just trying to see what works. You and I need to chat after the show and find an ad hoc game to mess around with sometime this week. I think that'd be a lot of fun because there's so many games that supported ad hoc. Wi-Fi wasn't that commonplace, so a lot of them had essentially couch co-op built in because you each had a screen.
Yeah,
that was an ideal scenario for that hardware.
But for something I didn't see a lot of credence in getting at the time, I am loving this thing. This thing is pretty freaking awesome.
I see one. I've never even seen a PSP Go. They just look sexy, and I know they're very expensive. You got a fantastic deal from what I heard.
Yes, I got an amazing deal. One of those things where I couldn't pass it up. And after holding it in my hand, I've fallen in love with this thing. I can't wait to bring it to you to show you.
PlayStation Portable Go.
I saw one several years ago at a mom and pop retailer, and I don't think it had anything else with it at the time, which is why I kind of held off on it, and it was pretty scuffed up. I mean, at this point they're all kind of scuffed, but this is not too bad.
I think you can swap the faceplates on those like you can the PSP 2000 and 3000. I don't think you're hosed on those.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
If you had to, is that one pretty solid?
Yeah, it's not bad.
The PlayStation Portable Go.
PlayStation.
Is that it? Games played, games acquired, consoles acquired, memories acquired.
Yeah. New PSP in a couple weeks.
I switched mine to shipping to me. I don't have to go pick it up. That was an option when I purchased it.
I'm super excited because I didn't play the Metal Gear Collection remote because I need the vibration.
Yeah. Haptic feedback is clutch, man.
Yep. That's like Psycho Mantis like, put your controller on the table.
You're like, I can't. It's not doing anything. You're weak.
I can't. Yeah, put my Steam Deck on the table. Ain't doing shit. What the fuck? Where's my immersion? My immersion's gone. Damn it.
I can move your controller with my mind. Brant, you were saying something about remote play? You can play some Shadow of the Colossus on your...
Yes,
was it Shadow of the Colossus collection?
But I also downloaded both Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid VR missions on here, so... Which is weird that you could download it on your PSP, but not your PS Vita.
It wasn't Vita compatible? My Vita still has all those PlayStation 1 games where they opened it for like a weekend and you could download a bunch of PS1 games and then they patched it out.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a bunch of those like Crash games and stuff on my Vita from that one weekend. I don't know why they did that.
Not that there's not other ways to get them on there, but I could literally go to my downloads, manage my downloads and go through the history and just download it straight to here. But if I do that on my Vita, it says no, you can't put that on here
unless you do magic. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add before we get out of here? Let's go.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week. We will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.